Hello, my name is Eric of Generation Eric. Um, I'm here to talk about the general rules. I'm going to make videos for each specific set of rules that I release, whether they be general rules or rules for a particular generation or anything else I deem necessary for a video to exist. And these are basically for anybody who doesn't have the time or the patience to read. I totally get it. If you just want to have something on in the background, you can just listen to me talk about the rules. I do recommend listening at, I usually listen to things like this at 1.5 times speed in the settings, so that's my recommendation. Okay, let's jump into it. First set of rules, respect. Other players may make decisions you disagree with. That's okay. Other players may put in more or less effort than you. That's okay too. In particular, with these two rules, I'm saying, I'm fine if there's conflict in the game. There's going to be conflict. People are going to vote against each other. That's fine. Just try not to take it to a place where anyone crosses a line and then I have to make a weird, unnecessary call that could have been avoided. I've been put in situations like that before, and I'm not necessarily afraid to make calls, but I'd rather, keep it lighthearted in general. Some people are not putting much effort into this game. Some people are putting in a lot of effort. And let's stay mindful of that. There are luck elements to this game, and I may not always show those on a live stream, if ever. I don't rig. I'm not going to rig. I've tried my best to create opportunities to reduce the effects of luck, but those opportunities are not perfect, and that's okay. I am saying all of this now, full chest out, like, the luck elements to this game, I know, especially with sequester formats, people consider them pretty killer. I try to reduce the effects of luck as much as I can by adding, advantages and crates, which I'll talk about later, in different parts to the rules to help mitigate that. But at the end of the day, luck will play a big factor, especially with some of these generation formats. So be prepared for that. In the off chance I have to make a tough call, my decision may be imperfect. I am imperfect. Let's have a respectful discussion if that occurs, but more than likely, my decision will stand, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm not afraid to make calls if I need to, whether it be a rule in the game or a personal conflict. Uh, and we can talk about my decision and the implications of that decision. But I'm letting you know ahead of time, more than likely, my decision stands. And then the last thing, don't cheat. There are not too many ways that you can cheat. In general, though, if you're questioning whether it's cheating, consider it cheating, because that's not okay. And I will deal out punishments for players that cheat. If you see anybody cheating, please let me know. Okay, communication is the next section. Please use Facebook Messenger to communicate with me. I will not accept votes through any other mediums or apps to make it easier or more consistent for myself. If we've messaged on Snapchat or Discord or anywhere else, and you try to vote through that app or that medium, I will not count it because I like to have all my votes in one place so I can check one place. Otherwise, it takes a lot longer, and I'd rather make everything as efficient as possible for myself. That said, add me to any and all chats that you have. I love seeing the game play out. This can be Messenger. It can be other apps that you guys go on. Just ask for my information if you're like, well, I don't have his Discord. How am I supposed to add him to the conversation? Just ask me, because I love being able to see the game play out. Screenshots are allowed between yourselves or with regards to conversations between yourselves, but they are not allowed when it comes to your conversations with me. So if I tell you anything, if you tell me anything, for example, votes, or if I give you an advantage, don't screenshot that and send it to another player. Don't forward it to another player. That is cheating, which we've established is not okay, and there's no blurry line there. That is cheating. But if you want to send, this person sent me this message, and that person is not me, sure, go ahead. I don't care. Next section, generations, advantages, or crates, and battlebacks. Each generation, first we'll start with generations. So each generation will represent a phase of the game. So you can basically switch out the word generation for the word phase, means the same thing. Each generation has its own quirks for voting rules and elimination formats. And they are isolated to each generation. So the rules and format for one generation will not apply to another generation. Yeah, I think that's all that has to be said about that. You will also not know when each generation ends, usually. I know that's not on the page, but that's part of the benefit of watching the video, I guess. But I'll also include that in most of the rules for each generation anyway. Advantages are available in the form of crates. This is something I'm introducing. So basically, crates are, if you think of, there are a lot of games that have this kind of system where a crate has percentage chances to receive different items, usually around the same power. So for example, a small crate will have lesser powers, a large crate will have better powers, and a medium crate will be somewhere in the middle. So for example, let's say you have a crate A, and crate A has a 50% chance of being a vote remover and a 50% chance of being an extra vote. After you receive your crate, I will randomize what advantage you receive and then let you know you received this advantage based on the percentage chances. They're not predetermined or anything. I will literally determine it after you have received your crate. I will publicly reveal what each crate may contain. So each small crate will contain the same percentage chances for each item. Medium crate, all medium crates are the same percentage chances. All large crates are the same percentage chances. If there are two large crates, they may have different items come from them because I randomize it in the when the player receives the crate, but they have the same percentage chances to receive the same items. And I will have those percentage chances public. I will also post each item's full rules, so every player knows exactly what may be available in the game. The rules shouldn't be anything crazy. It'll probably be a Word or a Google Doc just with everything that's available for that generation, so that you can just quickly go and look and see. When it comes to obtaining a crate, I will reveal the rules for obtaining a crate when I reveal a crate is available. Now, the ways for obtaining a crate could be, for example, a non-live challenge where the winner gets it, a vote for someone to get the crate, a vote or players fulfilling a particular task. It could be something else completely. There are various ways to retrieve crates, and I will not reveal how many crates are in the game. At the beginning of each generation, a battleback. Going into battlebacks. At the beginning of each generation, a battleback may occur. Now, obviously, that doesn't apply to this first generation because there's nobody to battle their way back into the game. But once a battleback takes place, all players who did not return to the game in that battleback are permanently eliminated. So, for example, hypothetical world. Let's say there are 50 players, and in the first generation, 10 of those players are eliminated. One battles their way back into the game. Now, going into the second generation, we have 41 players, because the 40 that survived plus the one that battled their way back. the 9 players who did not make it to Generation 2 are gone. They cannot come back to the game. So after Generation 2, let's say 10 more players are eliminated, the next battle back will only contain players who were not eliminated by the previous battle back. So for example, in that situation, like let's say in Generation 3, or at the beginning of Generation 3, we have a battle back. That battle back will only contain the 10 players eliminated during Generation 2. But let's say that battle back in Generation 3 doesn't happen until Generation 4. So in Generation 3 has 10 more players eliminated. Then we will take all the players eliminated since the last battle back. So everyone from the beginning of Generation 2 to the end of the 3rd generation, the 20 players will all be eligible for the battle back. But again, nobody in Generation 1 would be eligible because they've been eliminated because they did not win their battle back. That first battle back. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. I tried to explain that as best I could. And then last part of the rules explanation. This is a biggie. Once you are signed up for the game, every player will remain in the game, in name at least, until they are eliminated through the format. Quits and ejections break my format. If you choose to quit, I'll just consider it null votes until you're eliminated, or maybe you win. If I have to eject anyone from the game, I will replace you I will replace that player with a robot which votes randomly. Saying that ahead of time so that you guys are aware. And then last thing, special thanks in particular to 3 online games that inspired me for the season. Battlegrounds, Ascend the Chaos, and Power Grab. I've taken little bits of each one in terms of aesthetics or presentation, as well as for rules, and I definitely recommend checking all of those out. Battlegrounds may do a season in the future. I'm not going to speak on whether any of them are doing seasons in the future, but if they do, I recommend signing up. Battlegrounds and Ascend the Chaos, especially if you like these low effort games and you haven't played them before, and you haven't played those 2 in particular before. Also, special thanks to my graphic designer, Michael Davis. He will be making all of my lovely graphics for the entire season. I will thank him every single time he does, because I can't show my appreciation enough. And also a special thanks to anybody, to all of you guys who applied, who signed up. It's a big jump putting your faith into me, someone you might not potentially know, or someone you know but maybe not in a hosting capacity. And I promise to take that leap of faith and hold it gently and try to give you the best experience as possible. That is everything. If you have any questions, please let me know. And this applies for basically any rule or any information. If I deem it vital for every player to know the answer to your question, I will publicly reveal the question and the answer, just not who it was from. But if I'll leave it there. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in Generation Alpha.